You're a maniac. You are a maniac on the floor. Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am AC. This is the AC Toy Design Network broadcasting system, whatever. Today I've got a shorter video. I just wanted to showcase a custom figure that I made back. It was actually last year, around in December for C2E2, the Chicago Comics Entertainment Expo something, 2 C's, 2 E's, you get it, of the Maniac of New York. If you're not familiar with the character, he's from a comic book published by Aftershock Comics. And it's written by Elliot Kalan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And the artist is actually Andrea Muti. Very nice gentleman that I got to meet and present the figure to at the con. So he is the owner of the custom figure you're about to see. Before we get to that, why don't you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and bell icon, all that good stuff. Leave me a comment below. I answer all the comments, all the questions, whatever it is, throw it at me, I'll get to it. With that said, what you're about to see is just the finished figure. I'm going to run down how I made it, what went into it, materials I used, tools I used, and a little bit on the character. He's a very cool character, kind of a Jason Voorhees analog, a riff on that. If they had been able to do Jason Takes Manhattan correctly, which is still my favorite movie in the franchise. And if you're interested in more talk on that, check out my podcast, Death by Podcast, where we did a whole episode on the Friday the 13th franchise. But that's not what this is about. This is about Maniac of New York, my custom figure. Let's check it out. I'm gonna pass it over to what? So I've got my trusty silicone tip pointer here, and I hate to move him right now because I love this pose that I've got him in, but I'm gonna have to move him and flex him. He is fully articulate. He is a 100%, well, that's not true. He is a 90% Lex Luthor, prison Lex Luthor figure from the DC something line, 6-inch scale. The only thing that is not him, let's see, the hands are from a Fortnite, starts with an A, Aztec or something? Nah, that's not right. It's from a Fortnite figure. From the elbow to the wrist, what is that? That's a Steve Trevor from a Wonder Woman DC line figure. And then the rest of him is all Lex Luthor. Oh, Cassian Andor. I started with a Cassian Andor, what you call your hood thing here. But I cut it, I trimmed it down and I sculpted out of Abe's epoxy sculpt from about this point here forward. Let's see, what else? So I started with my usual joint, what you call your joint prep, where I take the figure apart and I Dremel down the joints anywhere there's going to be movement, so that when he does move, as I just move the shoulder, there's no paint rub. Let's see, the knees, the elbows, the shoulders, and I guess I fiddled with the neck joint a little bit to give him a little more articulation, because that Lex Luthor basically just turned side to side. So that is Lex's face under there. I sculpted the mask from scratch with Abe's epoxy, cut the figure's nose off so that it wouldn't be protruding through the sculpt, and then sculpted the mask over it, sculpted this band that goes around his head, hold the mask on, sculpted the collar like I said, sculpted the wrist and waist fluffiness, whatever you call that, and I think that was all the sculpting that I did. His chain thing that he has that's from the comics, I don't know what it is. It hasn't been revealed yet, like his origin. So this chain thing is just a fodder bit I found out in my fodder bin. The knife, the machete, is custom. Some I think maybe Buffy or something. But then I sculpted. Let's see, get the shadow out of there. I sculpted these two protruding blades because that's how his machete looks. And yeah, I think that was it. So when you do something like this, a lot of my sculpting I do, you sculpt the shapes like the face, the shapes, and a lot of it is done after it's cured. I get the shapes right, I cut the eye holes, get everything pretty much where I want it. But then once it's cured, I take my sandpaper and my X-Acto knife and I carve and sand and fine tune my sculpt. Oh, I also sculpted his zippers, 1, 2, 3 zippers. But I think I did it all in one sitting because there weren't too many layers as far as the sculpt went. I even attached sculpted the band here at the same time before the mask was cured. Sculpting tools, I always use my, your silicone tip brushes. I got a plethora of them, and I'll be posting everything that I used on this figure, all the tools, all the extra bits, more photos, tons of photos, all on my Patreon if you're interested. Patreon.com/actoydesign. The link will be below and in the description of this video. And I post all my behind the scenes stuff there and tutorials and all that stuff. What else? Paint job. Paints were all my own mixes. I gave them like a bluish gray for the pants. I hand painted all these lines. That was a huge pain in the butt. All the way around. A lot of dry brushing. So I got my browns here. The hood and the fur areas were painted brown, dark brown, then dry brushed with a tan, then dry brushed with a white. So layers there. Same dry brushing white on the mask. And then the blood spatter was a mix of a flat red and a gloss red. Mixed it together and just kind of went to town on him. This dude is never clean. He's always covered in blood. I think that was pretty much it. So I hope that wasn't too terrifying, right? Pick up the comic. It's from Aftershock Comics. It's called MANIAC of New York. They don't sponsor this at all, or me or whatever. I love the design. It was a design that I was drawn to. They've got a bunch of other characters that I really enjoyed. Simple video, just a little rundown on the project. Thought I'd share that with you all. I've been meaning to share that for months now and just hadn't gotten around to it. Thought I lost the footage. Here's the footage. If you would like to find me on social media, you can find me at AC Toy Design on Instagram and Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, but Instagram. And if you would like to support this channel directly, think about joining my Patreon at patreon.com/AC Toy Design. It's patreon.com/AC Toy Design, where you will find my Patreon exclusive podcast, You Like Toys. I just posted the 77th episode. It was a good Q&A with the community there where I answer any questions they can think of. And we get to talk and hang out. I also post all my behind the scenes, all my tutorials, bonus footage, bonus content, exclusive stuff. It's all there. And it's the only place I take commissions. So if you're interested in a commission for this figure or a figure like it, check out my Patreon. With that, I think I'm going to get out of here and definitely get some oats. What? What is happening? I told you. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I will see you in the next video. And until then, bow. Thumbs up. Pow! Double thumbs up. What? Who's that? Okay, I'm out of here. Sit, Muji, sit. Good dog. Billy. I'm gonna make a Billy custom figure.